All right, hello. I am going to show you if you're a designer, if you are a photographer, and you work in the essentially the content producing industry and in a creative field, in e-commerce, in selling products, you're at the right place because what I'm going to show you today is what I do, how I use AI to design, to create hyper realistic images of products. And I hope you take what you learned today and apply it to real work out there. I've heard way too many times that uh, design work is being taken away from with AI and also with photography. Now, let me tell you, I've seen a lot of slop out there. Design is pretty broad, and if you kind of go on the internet and when people say, "Oh, my design work is being taken over by AI," I think what the majority of folks out there are talking about is, for example, app user interface design. That's one portion. That's one corner of the whole design industry. But then we also have graphic design. We have web design. We've got, I mean, illustration. Okay, illustration is still so valuable. It's hard to find really great illustrators. And if you're a great illustrator and you know how to leverage AI to leverage it as a tool that enhances your illustrations, um, even better. And the same goes for photography here. So that's what I'm going to use as an example today. We're going to create an image, a photograph of a product. And so I just want to share it because I haven't seen any resources out there that provide this level of value, or at least the level of value that I intend to provide today. Okay, so I'm doing this on a Friday night. Kids are asleep, or at least they acted like they were asleep. So we'll see if someone barges in here. I'm going to create a photo of someone riding let's say, a new dirt bike. Okay, that's the project today. A dirt bike, and I want an action shot. You may be facing constraints yourself. Could be budget constraints, getting a photo shoot prepared. You've got to consider travel time, transporting, in this case, let's say power sports, transporting vehicles to and from a location, getting your riders that are not necessarily licensed, but who are familiar and know how to ride these vehicles. And they're not complicated by any means, but you've got to have you kind of have to vet the right people, whether getting everyone together, getting a date on the calendar, and then you've got to consider if you don't have a large team that could go out there and dedicate themselves specifically to this. You've got to carve out some time out of your day or days or weeks. What if you could narrow it down to one photo or a pair of images that can sell the lifestyle, the idea, the product itself, but what if it's also completely generated with AI? This is not for someone who has zero experience in product design, product photography. This is for anyone who has a background in design, a background in photography and marketing, or all of the above. I know there are teams where it's a small team or maybe even a handful or one that does it all. This is a perfect solution. If you have no experience with AI tools, don't think that this is more complicated than it really is. You just have to have a specific set of knowledge, And if you pair that up with your skills, you've got a winning combination. Let's think about these tools as what they are. They are tools, no different than when you fire up Photoshop, Figma, a web platform. They're not necessarily taking over your skill set or frankly, your job. What they're doing is they're enhancing your work, they're making it better, and they are simply, again, they're tools. What is important is leveraging these tools, using these tools to your advantage. There's a lot of great stuff out there. The information that's being presented, I think it's a little misleading or confusing. So I intend to clear it up and show you exactly what you can do with these tools because they are very, very useful. And if anything, they speed up your work and they are solutions to any constraints that you may be experiencing at the moment. Without further ado, let's move on. So I'm in Figma. I'm going to escape here, get out of presentation mode. Okay, cool. So, all right, there we go. So, bump this up. See how crude and simple I'm. This is definitely not cool looking. It's crude and it's just getting the job done. All right, so power sports, and we're gonna go Kawasaki. And I'm not a power sports enthusiast. I don't have a background in power sports. However, I have worked with power sports brands enough to understand to understand enough. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go with a 140 cc is the displacement or the power of the vehicle itself. Dirt bike. All right, so that's it. These are our I don't know, rules or the scope of what we need to do. And what I want is I want to have an action shot of a motorcycle or the dirt bike. I saw a dirt bike. Want to place it as a hero image on a landing page, so wide 16:9. Let's see what else. I'm thinking in real time here. Okay, 2026 model. And I think that's it. So this is the scope, and it needs to get done ASAP. All right, so let's say we need an image by now, by tomorrow morning, the latest, because it needs to be presented and marketed and all that good stuff. So, all right, so what are we going to do first? We are going to go to the internet. All right, so I'm going to fire up the browser, new, and I'm going to go to iStock for photo. All right, so iStock photo, and what I'm looking for is a dirt bike image. All right, so what are we doing here? We're grabbing inspiration essentially. And what I want to do is, I really like this one. What I want to do is, I'm going to click on this one. I'm already digging this picture. Is we're going to create a prompt based on what we see here, but instead of using the dirt bike in the image, we're going to create an image with our dirt bike in this style, this angle, with everything you see here essentially. Okay, so far I like this picture a lot. Oh, perfect. I want the dirt bike to kick some dirt, so these are perfect. Now I don't want any other riders in the frame. I just want the single dirt bike with the rider. Let's see. I'm looking for the right angle that kind of shows enough of the dirt bike that you could see, okay, this is clearly whatever brand we're looking at. Let's see if there's any other ones that are similar to. I like this angle, but This is probably good. Oh no. Let me see. This is pretty cool. It has my favorite number. You know what? I really like this one. So I'm going to click on this. Let's see if we have similar. Yes. Look, this is perfect. This one's perfect. This is more or less what I'm looking for. Color-wise, I'm not exactly too crazy about, but I think we can improve the color after the fact. So here's what I'm doing. Okay, so I zoomed in. This is iStock photo, right? So when you click on an image, you're going to get this watermark. And I have no problem with that. Obviously, they got to do what they have to do, but we're not going to take this photo and use it without permission, or we're not going to take this photo and doctor it up or anything like that. What we're going to do is, by the way, this is probably not even a real piece of the image. Someone just photoshopped it together. Okay, so which one did I like? This one, I think. Uh, check some more out first. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. So this is the one I like. All right, I like the angle. I like how the motorcycle is kind of everything's centered. The bike is shooting the dirt, kicking dirt in the back, and this is great. So I'm zooming in, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of this image. All right, there it is. All right, so now we're gonna open up Claude. Hey, there I am. Caesar returns. Okay, so here is what you're going to prompt. All right, you don't have to have any fancy prompts. Tell it in plain English what you want. Okay. So, oh, by the way, I could either type this or I could speak it to the computer here. I think I'm going to choose the latter. I'm going to speak into it. So I'm going to do whisper. What is it? What's it? Yeah, Whisper Flow. Yeah, there we go. Open up Whisper Flow, and this is a pretty cool app. So I'm gonna click in the text box here and tell it what I want. Create a prompt, a detailed prompt to recreate this image in Gemini. All right. So I'm telling it to recreate this image in Gemini, but that's not really what I want to do. Okay. So I'm going to drag this over. I'm going to explain myself in just a moment. All right. It's going to create a detailed prompt for me so I can prompt in Gemini, which is another tool. This is Claude. If you're not familiar with Claude, I am on the paid version. It's $20 a month. Don't know if the free version provides the same level of accuracy or if it's as good as the paid version. I use this thing every day, so it's well worth $20 a month. Gemini is part of my Google Workspace, and I'm going to go into Gemini in just a moment. But just wanted to say that, just a quick disclaimer: I'm paying for Claude, $20 a month, $20 American US, and it's great. So right now it's on Sonnet. I'm pretty happy with Sonnet. Haiku is a little bit faster LLM, and this model is probably best for web-related stuff, more mathematical, for example, more code. And I'm using Claude in the browser. There, you could also download it to your desktop. I don't necessarily have it downloaded here, but I have used Claude Co-work, Claude Code, and Claude Chat, which is what this is. I think it's called Chat, but you just chat with it. No need to know any of the extra stuff. Just browser, more than good enough. Chat, and let's go. So it's going to generate my prompt. All right, so here's a detailed prompt. All right, so while it's doing that, I'm going to go to Kawasaki. Okay, perfect. And I want to go to dirt bikes. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So let's say I want to, think I set a 140. And the reason why I selected 140, you don't have to know this. This is all just, we're just learning here as we go. Motorcycle, I think it's KLR, KLX. Here we go. 140. The 140s are a little more powerful, meaning like a teenager or 20-something-year-old could ride these, and I don't want to, I don't want to create an image with like kids. So I want to have like young adults or whatever that could ride the motorcycle, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll down here. They already have action shots, obviously, but I'm using them as an example, and we're gonna get something really cool. See, I love this. This is awesome, except for this guy right here. I don't know why he's there. Anyway, it's not here nor there. So let's go with the KLXR 140R. Yeah, let's just do this one. KLX 140R. All right. I just copied the name. It doesn't really matter. I could just write it again. Okay, so there's the prompt. I'm going to copy the prompt, and we're going to open up Gemini. All right, and I'm going to paste the prompt. I'm going to expand to full screen so I could read this because we're going to go ahead and edit this. All right, so here's the detailed prompt. Obviously, I'm going to erase this. Whoops. Okay, motocross rider okay. Instead of on a red and black dirt bike and the number 7, I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to say on this dirt bike, or on the Kawasaki. What was it again? Kawasaki KLX 140R. Motocross rider on the Kawasaki 140 KLX 140R. Bear with me. It is late at night. Tearing through the day, and I was up super early. I don't know, 5:30 or something like that. Anyway, tearing through a dry dirt track at high speed. The rider wears a full red and white black motocross gear set with a white and black helmet and orange gloves. The bike, that's fine. The bike is leaning slightly forward. Front wheel slightly lifted. Loose brown dirt. Perfect. A thick cloud of brown dust billows out. The rear tire, the trails behind the bike. To the left, the ground is dry, flat, and barren with no vegetation. That's fine. Background is, instead of overcast, I'm gonna say the background is blue sky with, instead of heavy clouds, because I want to look a little lighter, light clouds. How about that? Low contrast lighting. I'm gonna say clear lighting. No direct sunlight. I'm gonna remove this. I don't want to tell it that it's dark. The overall color tone is, let's see, except for the bright. You know what? The overall color tone is instead of muted and desaturated, I'm gonna say saturated. Fairly, maybe saturated. Let's see. Okay, shot from the ground level, slightly front and side right. The rider looking up at a slight angle. The rider fills most of the frame. Shallow depth of field. Background slightly. Okay, background slightly blurred. I'm gonna say, oh, here, a hyper realistic motocross rider. Okay, down. Let's go back down to the bottom. Blurred, photorealistic. I'm gonna remove this because it's kind of repeating it. And one thing that I've noticed, if you repeat, it doesn't really do such a good job. All right, high resolution. Okay, action photography, and I'm gonna also add Canon 5D Mark II. Let's say, okay, there's depth of Depth of field, background slightly blurred. Okay, blurred. All right, so I am going to now take an image, take a screenshot of the Kawasaki dirt bike. I already mentioned which one it is, so it knows. But just to give it a little extra context, I added the picture. And fast, instead of fast, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go pro. Well, let's go thinking. Let's see what happens. So as this generates, I'm going to go through back through the tool. So we're talking about Gemini and Claude. And I should have mentioned this at the beginning. We're also going to use Photoshop. So this is also assuming you are familiar with Photoshop. Yeah, this is going to be cool. I hope it's going to be cool. Hope it's impressive enough for you to stick around. So stick around, everyone. All right, here we go. Look at that. Look at that. It's okay, 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 okay. That's cool. All right. All right. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. It's kind of kind of lifting off the ground. But you know what? This is good. This is good. This is kind of a just to show you a first version of how good the image could be. All right. And we'll let it download. Then we're going to bring it into, let's see here. All right. Whoops. All right, there it is. And we're going to bring it into Photoshop. And there we are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select, I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to just tap J and circle this, and I'm going to ask to remove. Car components are being downloaded. Check back later to use the feature once. Okay, that's great. Hey man, I'm giving a tutorial here. All right, let's try it again. Remove. Interesting. Okay, so let's just drag it then. Okay, I guess it's good enough. You don't see it anymore. All right, cool. Let me check the layer. It's the same layer. Okay, perfect. And what I want to do now is I want to expand this. I want to give it more of a, oops, give it a kind of a wide shot, like 16:9, about your standard like 1920 by 1080 or so. All right, so I'm going to expand this a bit, give it some space, and check this out. So I selected crop, but what's cool about Photoshop, if you're not familiar with this or if you don't know yet, in Photoshop you could generative expand, and what I'm going to say, the prompt is super easy. Here we go. Complete the environment. All right, so we're just completing the environment, and I selected. Oh, I should have shown you earlier. I'll get back to this in just a moment as it completes the environment. Look at that. Look at that. So I have 1, 2, 3 to choose from. I like the first one right off the bat. First one is pretty right on. Well, actually, let me think about it. Yeah, let's go with the first one. Although the dirt trail, there's no cloud of dust that goes back further, so it is a little bit weird. But let's just, for the sake of this project and for the sake of making sure the motorcycle is accurate, the dirt bike's accurate, all the gear, the environment is fairly accurate, except for like these stones that are hanging out for some reason. All right, that's neither here nor there. So let's go with the next step, and I'm going to merge these down. So right now they are, let's see, 2 layers. We've got the layer, the original image, and the expanded version. I'm just going to merge these down. And I want a very solid, like a good sized image. And right now I'm going to check the size. So Option Command I. Okay, resolution 72. Let's assume this is not going to be printed, but 3929 by 2360 is not bad. You could always crop it down. Um, I'm going to stick with it. What I was going to do is I was going to generative upscale, and if you go here, whoops. Oh, nice. It kicked me. All right, Photoshop just booted me out. So guess what, everyone? Guess what? That means that all of that effort has gone to the trash. All right. Nope, I'm not going to reopen. Let's try this again. Don't send, ignore. That's fine. I'm not going to bark at them. Okay, deep breath. All right, we're going to start over. And this, my friend, is a pleasant reminder that you've got to save your work at all times because this can happen. Now, luckily, this is just a demonstration and I don't need it. But if I did need it, I would be in big trouble. I would want to throw my computer out the window. Save your work. All right. Just a public service announcement. I'm going to go J again and let's see if it removes this time. Oh, okay. It removes. It's working this time. Cool. All right. Apologies for the slowness. Okay, cool. And also my yappiness. All right, I'm going to merge these down. I don't have time to play around with layers at the moment. We've got this. We've got to get this picture out. So I'm going to go C for crop. Again, I'm on a Mac. I'm going to crop this bad boy. And we're going to go about, I think this is roughly how we want it, because I want the motorcycle and the rider to be centered. Already off the bat, we've got a good image. We've got a good image and it's fairly usable. So let's see, generative expand. What did I say? Complete the environment. All right, as it's working, what I was trying to show you earlier was the generative upscale option that Photoshop provides. Look, this is practically identical to the last version. So I'm going to save this file, call it Cowie. I heard that's the lingo around in power sports. Call these Kawasaki's Cowie. Kind of cool, almost like, all right, dad joke. I was gonna say Kiwi, but let's not go there. Okay, I was gonna show you generative upscale. Click. All right, you could upscale this, but let me give you a fair warning if you upscale, because I have had to do this more than once because I've had to print the image, and so clearly I want the best possible resolution, the best possible sized image. So I would select generative upscale, a very nice, very helpful tool from Photoshop. It has a good amount of handful of AI tools that are super helpful. All right, so Firefly upscale. If you click the drop down, you could also select to pause gigapixel and to pause bloom, and then you could scale it 2 times, 4 times. Yeah, so just wanted to show you that. But as of now, we've got a 4,000 or 4,300 pixel wide image, more than enough. This could be your hero image, even if you want on a website. It'll look pretty nice. Okay, let's zoom in. All right. Does everything look accurate? I don't know. I don't know about this helmet. I think I want to change the helmet. The 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 gear, the uh, riding clothes or whatever you might want to call it. It looks a little inaccurate. The boot, Alpine All-Star boot, looks okay. Kawasaki back here. You could barely see it, so we've got to fix all this stuff. This is not accurate. So let's say you were working at Kawasaki and you're like, okay, boss, here's the picture, and they zoom in and they see this sloppiness. No go. Not a good thing. Here, let's see. You could kind of get away with it. Let's see. Anything else that looks misleading? Let's see. Um, hmm. Let's see. The finger is it's a little stubby. But you know what? We're gonna leave the finger alone for now. I think if you zoom out, at least we don't have 6 fingers. We don't have, you know, 7 finger hands. I think we're good. All right, so we're gonna leave it at that. Okay, so the motorcycle, the bike, or I keep saying motorcycle, the dirt bike. Let's see if all of the components match up with the original. So we're going to go back to the browser and Kawasaki. And you know what? I'm going to look for better images of the Kawasaki, blah, 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 blah. KLX, blah, blah, blah. And let's see, I keep zooming in with my computer. All right, so this looks pretty. All right, so I'm looking at the components. I'm looking at the all of this here, and it looks pretty accurate to me. So that's good. This is good. All right. Okay. And honestly, I don't even know I really don't know the terminology for motorcycles. I apologize if you're an enthusiast. I respect. You know more than I do, but just trying to get this work going. Is this the 40? Yeah, this is it. This is the this has to be is it the 2016? Let's go back. I don't know. Let's see. 2016. Okay, a few details. All green here, green, and then this decal is close enough to this. All right, so I'm going to say 2026. Open up another tab. 2026 and then KXLR, blah blah blah. Apologies for saying blah 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 so often. Trying to do my thing here. Okay, this is clearly a photoshopped image, but it's almost at the exact angle we need our motorcycle to be, or our I keep saying motorcycle. Our dirt bike needs to be, and this is the wrong angle. Right more. Yeah, I keep saying motorcycle. Right dirt bike. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Bingo. This is going to work. All right, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to bring it over to Photoshop. Okay. All right. Close this down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab some visual assets from the image. As you can see, Kawasaki here is on the seat's green and black. I'm assuming the seat is green and black, whereas it's inaccurate here. We could grab these decals and slap them on here. Okay. Everything else, luckily this doesn't have a lot of stickers and stuff. And then we're gonna fix the helmet. I'm not happy with the helmet. First of all, I don't think that's the accurate name of the helmet. Arai. Let's find out. Arai helmets. Maybe it is. Okay, it is. All right, cool. Didn't know that. Learned something today. Okay, so let's see. Arai dirt bike helmet. Okay. Nice. Okay. Maybe we could replace it with one of these cool helmets because the one that I'm looking at here is kind of not so great. Okay. All right, we'll get to the helmet in just a moment. All right, back to the motorcycle. Here I go again. Dirt bike. I'm going to select the lasso tool, and that's L on a Mac. And I'm just going to cut this piece out. Select it, and then do a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna bring it over here. I know, so I don't know. Such a crude way of doing it. I'm um, holding down Command as I do this, and let's see how this pans out. All right, there we go. Let's see, and I'm just adjusting here. Let's say this is right on the money. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's close. I think it actually needs to be more like this. All right. There we go. That looks a little more accurate in terms of placement. Okay, so we could see the name. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit, and now I'm just shrinking it down from the corner. Let's see. Okay. All right. How about that? All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is grab the lasso tool again, and I'm going to select around this bad boy, the already existing seat, and I'm doing all this with on a laptop with the what do you call it, trackpad, and I'm just whoops, so I kind of went a little over there, but that's okay. I'm gonna turn this back on, and just gonna cut it. And if you have better ways of doing this, you don't have to listen to me. Just do it your way. I'm just cutting. I'm just cutting. Um, I'm using the tools that I'm familiar with and the way I'm familiar with doing it. There's a couple of ways to do it that are better, and I admit it. But this is just what works for me. So, whoops. Do it if you'd like. If not, that's cool. No hard feelings. Okay, now we're gonna grab this and we're gonna do a little bit of editing so it can match the green on the dirt bike. Where was I? Okay, adjustments, exposure. I'm gonna kill the exposure a little bit. Let's see if this works out. Kind of does. Okay, so I'm gonna go at like right here, minus 14.41. I'm gonna click OK. Now we're gonna go to curves, and this is image adjustments, curves. Now bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's see how this looks. Kind of matches. Let's back up. Yeah, no, it's good. Matches pretty well. All right, so if you look at it from a distance, now we're starting to look more accurate, more like the motorcycle. Here we go again. More like the dirt bike. Here. All right. See? So the seat is accurate. Now we're going to go with the stickers here. Decals. And I'm going to select the image. I'm going to cut. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to select all the right pieces. I'm just going to do this. Cut it kind of a little bit slappy, but hey, it works. It works. Okay. We've got a little bit of shine, a little bit of plastic glare, but that's okay. Just gonna cut this and bring it over. Let's bring it over, shall we? All right, we're gonna go a little smaller. Let's see, how can we adjust this one? Again, Command. I'm gonna warp the hell out of this. All right. Let's see. Okay. Bring it over here. Nope, it's a little too much. So we're gonna bring it up and tighten this one down. It's getting there. It's getting there. Okay. And let me bring this up in the layers panel and turn it off a little bit. Okay, it's close. Do this. Turn off, turn on, off. I'm just taking a look at how accurate this is. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to at least match whatever the the dirt bike is supposed to look like. Okay, bring this over here. Whoops. Stretch it out. And I'm kind of using a combination of command and selecting selecting the I forget what you call this, anchor of the image. Let's see. Stretch this out, command stretchy. All right, let's just say we're good. All right, we're good. We're good. What do you think? We're good. Okay, return. Okay. I'm gonna reduce the opacity on this new image. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start erasing around to work a little magic here. I'm gonna use kind of a feathered, let me see this. Nope, that's a brush. Erase. Now I'm searching for, there we go, soft round. Okay. And click out of here. I'll go here, start erasing a little bit because you can see I'm beginning to erase this here. So if I bump up the opacity at full, all right, we see a little bit of shadowing happening here. Okay, and we're good with that. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna add more, or erase more rather. And I'm gonna grab the lasso tool and I'm gonna cut it starting here. All right, delete, deselect, bring the opacity back up, and grab the eraser and slightly, gently begin to remove this. Okay, what do you guys think? All right, no answer. Okay, we're gonna go to images, adjustments again, and exposure, and we're gonna darken this just a tad bit. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. Back to image, adjustments, curves, and make it a little bit darker. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. And I'm going to turn this off so we don't see it. And this is kind of bothering me. It doesn't look good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select the original image. Yep, original image, back to the lasso, and we are going to remove this. And let's see what additional magic Photoshop can add to this. All right. How you guys doing out there? Okay, great. Took it off. And layer 4. See, I'm not even naming my layers. Just let it be. Let's get moving on this, guys. Let's get moving. All right. Layer 4, erase. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. So look. Back to the big picture here. No pun intended. But we're doing design work. Okay? We're doing photography editing work. All right? All of this while using AI. Okay? Think about it. Okay, we're going to go to the helmet. I'm not happy with the helmet. I want to replace this helmet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take literally a screenshot of this helmet. Okay? At this angle, this precise angle. All right, while it saves that, let's take a look at some helmets. And that was called the right. Oh, I like this one. Let's go. I'm going to click on this. Hopefully it takes me to a shop Or this yellow one. Let's see. The red one, the yellow one, whatever. That's cool. These are all cool. Love it. All right, so let's go with the Resolute. Oh, it's discontinued. What do you say? Okay, Resolute red. All right, So VX Pro 4 Resolute red. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. Back to Gemini. New chat. All right, we're gonna grab this image or screenshot, dump it in here, and say, I'm gonna say upscale. Now I'm gonna write it or type it. Upscale this image, if I could type, image of blah, 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 comma, replace the helmet with the, what was the helmet name? Sorry, again, if you're array, VX Pro Resolute Red. Let's see when, is there a year? Let's see, VX Pro Resolute. Let's see, VX Pro 4 Resolute Red. Nice. That's a nice. I love that actually. That's one of my favorite kind of combinations of colors, like this over white and black. Anyway, not here nor there. We're gonna go back to Photoshop. Oh no, sorry. Gemini. And what the hell? I'm gonna do fast. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the helmet gets replaced, looks accurate, and if it does, we're going to download this bad boy and replace the helmet in Photoshop. All right. So, well, all right. Not totally stoked about it. Didn't get the helmet, but let's see. Let's go to the helmet here. But it has all of the necessary components, like this little breathing mesh, for example. It has it. It got that pretty decently. And then the array part, it looks good. So you know what? We're going to go with this. I'm going to download it. All right. And it's thinking, but check this out. Super cool. It looks a lot more accurate than this. A lot more accurate than this. This looks a little sloppy. Okay, so we're now going to, here's the image. So let's take a look. There's the one that was just generated just now, and this is the original. So it's an upscaled version of this. So it looks much better than this. All right, I'm gonna grab this image. We're gonna put it in Photoshop. Look at that. Look at the detail. Wow, very nice. And I'm just selecting option and making this smaller. All right, we're gonna bump this up to the top so it doesn't get, yeah. I'm gonna reduce the opacity so I could see the helmet on the back. We don't want a big head. All right, let's go here. Now I'm just grabbing the corners. I'm gonna match it as accurately as I possibly can, because look at that. The angle, everything is perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Excellent. And guess what? What I'm going to do now is erase. So E. And I'm going to select. Okay. Whoops. Where are we? Oh, wait. Which one is it? Which one is it? Oh, here we go. This one. I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to click OK. All right. And it's feathered. So we're good on that. And I'm just going to do this and erase little bits and pieces of the helmet here. Look at that. In fact, let's deselect. Look at that. Deselect the original image and make this a little bit smaller. Reduce the size of the eraser. Okay. All right, and then bring the opacity at 100%. Turn the picture back on, and voila, we have we have an amazing looking photorealistic picture of the exact model that we want. And that's the power of the tools that we have available today. So again, I'm paying for Claude, it's 20 bucks. Paying for workspace, I think it's like 16 bucks. And of course, the Creative Suite, you've got to pay for that thing. And word of advice, if you're a student or even a past student, guess what? You could get it for a little bit cheaper monthly. So just hit them up, send them a message and say, hey, I want to, if you're paying like 50 bucks a month, they could reduce it down to like, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks a month, something like that. So worth the try. And they won't question you. Just say you're a student or something. I don't know. Or you were a student. I'm not telling you what to do. Just, again, these tools, they can add up. So, do as you wish. But anyway, we created an image. I hope this was helpful. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if this is helpful. If you want me to do more of this, I'm more than happy. I mean, we could build a whole website from scratch. We could do a lot of things with AI. We could do some really cool interactive things, by the way, which is something I like. We can build on any platform or for any platform or no platform at all. And I could show you how to build a free website where you're essentially not even paying for hosting, rather landing page. Websites could be a little more complicated. I'm going on too far too much. Let me know in the comments if you want more of this. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and we'll talk to you next time.